Happy World Mental Health Day, everyone. And to be honest, I question why we celebrate it today. Now I know what you guys are thinking, right? You guys are like, okay, this girl is absolutely crazy. Why is she posing this question? It is very obvious. It's for the mental health stigma. And you are right. But then there's also the devil's advocate who says, but we could be celebrating this another day or the following day or the weekend or any other day. Why does there have to be a day when mental health should be celebrated every day? I listened to both arguments. I think both arguments are very valid. And I feel like my final verdict is that this day is very, very important. But with a caveat that if we're gonna treat this day as a day, we need to treat it right and we need to celebrate or honor it the right way. And here's what I have to say about it. So what I mean when I see the validity in both arguments is I see how people say that, hey, mental health should not just be celebrated in that day. Mental health should not just be honored in that day. Mental health should be honored in every day. Just that argument singularly alone is valid. The way I look at this is kind of like in Valentine's Day, just as a hypothetical example. Let's kind of deviate from this just for a little bit. But, you know, like couples in love, like you can love your partner and you can celebrate your day and have your lovey-dovey day. It's not just that one day in that construct that you can love that person, right? Like as much as that's a fun and an honorary and a great day to celebrate and spoil your partner with all the love that you can give them, it should kind of be like that every day as well. Not to put that obviously in like a high standard, okay? Let's not treat every day like a Valentine's Day. That's also kind of a little unrealistic for any couple, but I'm just saying like just that kind of standard of, you know, celebration or that celebration of like love. Like it should not just be hyped up in Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? It's that similar concept. And that's kind of what I sometimes see, right? Because in anything. But you know, I see, I'm not trying to go out on the Valentine haters, okay? I'm not salty about Valentine's, but at the same time, if I'm trying to build connections here, I see a Valentine's Day trend with a little bit of a mental health day trend. Because as much as I kind of see that, I sometimes feel like people kind of treat it the same way as mental health. Because here's the thing, something that I notice just in general is whether it's holidays of any kind or even just mental health days, people hype things up, right? People hype things up and they go on their social media and say, oh, I love you, or Valentine's Day, or oh, you know, happy holidays of Halloween or whatever the case may be, and go online or even mental health day post, you know, all the stigma posts and awareness posts, but when the time comes and all is over, it's gone. And sometimes they never even try to raise the conversation again. And it almost raises the question, is this really just a trend? Is this really just something that is just honored because it's just for a day? So my point is not to say that this day is not important, but my point is that this whole day is created to honor mental health and to break down the stigma. And part of the stigma is because mental health is disrespected. And inadvertently, if we are just going to treat this as a trend, we are disrespecting and defeating the purpose of mental health. Therefore, we are not serving the purpose of the cause, which means we are not doing anything productive for this. Which also means that it's just not going in the right track and we aren't honoring this day the right way. So for me, I feel like what I want to kind of embrace is, number one, obviously, mental health is not a trend. it will never be a trend. And because this is people's real life struggles, these are people's real life pain and adversities that they go through. And that's not something that we entertain. It's not a circus that we pay to visit and laugh upon. So, and also, I think that another thing that I want to say is because it's not a trend, I think that that's why we need to honor it. And if we're going to pay respect to this day, we need to honor this day the right way. And so I guess this is kind of my message on how we are going to, how I want to promote and embrace this day and how I want to embrace mental health in my channel, but also just as an advocate, because this is kind of the underlying problems, Not to say that no one is doing anything about mental health, because I think that there's nothing wrong about posting about mental health, okay? That's not, please, by the way, sorry, I literally panicked here for a second, but I am not saying, disclaimer, that there's a problem with posting about mental health, okay? No problem with that. I do the same. I'm just saying, let's continuously, if we do that, let's continuously choose to raise awareness about it. Let's continuously choose to have conversations and choose to stay empathetic and not just make it something to be a trend, because it deserves so much more respect than that. And it becomes counterintuitive to the whole day in general, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose. But the next part, obviously, is how can we honor this day? Because as much as I can prose, I guess, my insight on how I feel about things, I also don't want to just prose insight. I also kind of want to see action. And so how are we able to kind of approach all of these kind of things? I guess my action plan to all of this is, number one, to simply educate yourself. I feel like education is one of the most pivotal things that anyone can do that is super duper powerful. And especially towards mental health, holy schnitzels! Guys, educate yourself. And educate yourself properly. Go and find reliable sources online and really do your research. And online, cool, but like, if you're even online, go and do reputable sources online. If you guys are interested in actually me creating a video on how to find reputable sources online, let me know. But like, I never really thought about making that video until now. But like, if you guys do want me to make a video, I can do that for you guys. But point being is, the reason why I say education is really important is because I feel like one reason why mental health stigmas exist is because so many people, and I'm not trying to say that people are dumb, but I also think that in that field, there can be more to learn. And so I feel like that is just something that we can all grow on and continuously learn, because sometimes there's just things that people say, like words even, that I see online. Like sometimes I'm just reading, psychology articles, or, and there's the comment section. And I just sometimes like look at it and I'm like, that's not the right word to use there, And if you really did your research, you would know that that's not really the right word to use. So my point being is, and by the way, I'm no exception to this, so I can be even using the wrong words, right? So the point being is, in order for us to really be mental health advocates, for us to continuously grow, for us to continuously learn, is for us to educate ourselves. And this is something that I want to continuously do in my channel, and something that I'm really making as one of my top goals in my channel, that any content that I post is something that I want to make sure is backed up with research, because I don't want to just post something that is not researched at all. And so, yeah, I hope that can kind of bring some awareness on that, because it can be incredibly damaging if you start using words, especially thinking that it's light, when in reality, it's not only incorrectly used, but it's insensitive and damaging to the community. Next thing I feel like is really important is also to reach out. I think it's really important to reach out to people, especially during this time. 2020 is a really difficult time for people, and I get it. I like my alone time a lot. To the contrary, like, yes, video making is fun, but after video making, I'm like kerplop editing in silence and I am chill. But at the same time, I also do really appreciate friends who do reach out to me, and I do make efforts to reach out to friends too. And, you know, when I do, it does become a really reassuring time for me. And I think that through that connection, it really brings a lot of joy and brings a lot of reassurance that they are doing okay. And so I feel like that is something that we should all put effort on. Because as much as you might think that, you know, you were okay even in your life, someone else might not be. Finally, I think it's really important for us to take care of ourselves and to make sure that we are being gentle with ourselves. I think as much as it's important to be there for other people, I also think that it's really important to be there for ourselves. And that's the number one important thing that I feel like we should prioritize just as much. I think that this is something that I need to remind myself of, things that I remind to even one of the closest people that I have in my life. And this is something that I just want to say because I just feel like it's just super duper important. And at the end of the day, you are just so important and so loved, and you shouldn't, like, put yourself as a priority is what I'm trying to say. Like, you deserve that so much, you know? And I want the best for you. But yeah, those are my, I guess, things that I feel like, the 3 things that I feel like would be really powerful and impactful. Hey guys, so I just kind of wanted, so obviously new shirt, new day, which also is a heavy implication, also an accurate assumption that I did not post this on the day of. And let me explain a little bit of a story time / a behind the scenes of what goes on in this content creator's mind. On that day, I actually filmed it on that day. And for me, I was ambitious, to say it very nicely. I was like, I'm gonna film it, edit it, and post it all on the same day. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. But I didn't really think about, like, oh, maybe, you know, things might happen on that day. Or, you know, maybe you should think of a plan B if something happens. And I didn't. And obviously, life hits ya. And I realized that I got a migraine. And you can kind of see that my energy level dip low, especially during the end of the video, which I apologize. I'm not unenthusiastic. I literally just had a migraine and I just had to crash. Like, editing a video and just seeing the screen was just not it for me. And so because of that, I just was not up for it. And it just really led me to feel super discouraged over just a lot of things. And I just felt really, really down, to be honest. But hey, in this story, it's not that sad because I brought some silver linings, and I feel like this is the perfect way to honestly end the video. I want to kind of share these silver linings. I didn't know my video would go off on this tangent, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. And so here are the silver linings. Number 1, I feel like this period of time made me be really hard on myself as far as, like, why wasn't I able to bring the content out? Because especially for this video in particular, the date was very, very important, right? And I did not deliver it on that date. But then I realized, okay, like, as much as I was gonna bring it out on this date, you know, it's fine. Because I was kind of afraid, honestly, to see comments or potential comments being like, oh, you did not post it on the date, or whatever the case may be. But I'm not gonna be afraid about that, because the overall message and the overall honor that is supposed to be brought about this subject, it doesn't matter about the date ultimately. It matters about what is going to be brought up in the future. And if I'm going to do something about it, that is what I'm going to be doing. And the fact that I decided to post this video is the fact that I'm going to honor this day no matter what day I post it on. And that is what matters to me more than anything, because this cause is what matters to me more than anything. The second thing I really had to, I guess, think about is really applying the things that I said to myself as far as the action plan, also known as being gentle with myself, taking care of myself, because that was kind of something that I had to, you know, practice what I preached in. And I'm kind of glad I did that, because I feel like if I truly just put out half-butted content and really just pushed myself and didn't take care of myself, it would have been hypocritical. And I don't want to be an unauthentic person on my channel. And that's just kind of something that I came into realization in, that I really had to take some time and some reflection period for myself to be that authentic person for you guys. And I'm kind of grateful that I was able to kind of translate that in that video, to kind of be that person for you guys. Third thing, of course, is action plan. I'm not too sad about this one, because obviously I have a channel dedicated to mental health content, but I will admit I only said 3 things because I had a migraine. You guys can see my energy levels going low. I had a migraine in the middle. I had to stop, to be honest. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, after the take care of yourself thing, I'm like, I can't do this. Point being though, is though I only said 3 action plan things, though I'm not denoting them, they're very important. Educate yourself, be there for others, and take care of yourself. I also have links on things that you can do to take care of yourself, and like, you know, links down below that you can check out as resources. Links are down below. And finally, I just wanted to say that as a content creator, I just want to say thank you, because this moment has really pushed me to humble myself and really allow myself to realize that yes, I want to give you guys wholesome content, and that my mental health content is something that I really want to deliver with much love and much confidence and much grace within my heart. And ultimately, I feel like, you know, me constantly creating content that I love and constantly me posting, even if this was hard for me to not post it on this day and my perfectionistic tendencies coming in, for me to still deliver content and for me to still post things that I love is something that means the world to me. And the fact that it can be born into fruition is something that I'm still happy of. So thank you so much for that. But with that being said, I hope you guys all have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, signing off. Oh, and also make sure to take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones. All right, signing off.